footballer to me. When you are on the field, that is what we need to see, how professional you are. Off the field, what you do is absolutely your personal life. But then it all depends on every individual players. To me, I always wanted to live a simple life, practice, come home, rest, and that is the best thing to do in life. But there are players who have also enjoyed, by having a tough practice sessions, then sometimes going around, going out in the evening, hanging around with your friends, or maybe going for a nightlife. But then, yes, all these things do come in football or any other events. But the best thing is when you are onto the field for those 2 hours, 3 hours, you need to give everything. If not, what happens is all things what you have been doing off the field, then we start counting onto that. Like, he's been having a night life, he's not taking proper rest. But for me, what is important, what I feel is when you are onto the field, that's very important. But yes, of course, at the same time, if you're having a night life, doesn't mean that you are going to stay out till late night. And then when you know that you have training the next morning. So that's not professionalism. You have to have a life wherein you can enjoy. But when you want to enjoy, you have to also have to know that you have a task again in the next morning. And that is practice. Because we are here as footballers. And if we want to achieve more in life, we need to be more professional. And professional actually comes from here. So you need not have to just be professional that you're on the field 2 hours, you're working hard. But then if we talk about the longevity, all these things counts. Because if you don't have proper sleep, no proper rest, then your body will not permit to give you more than 100% onto the field. So this is also like a professionalism wherein you have to have this professionalism in you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to ask you one thing, and this is also because you're from Goa. We have seen in the last 2 decades that almost every top Indian footballer from Goa has come to one or the other club in Kolkata and represented it. They've had most of them, almost all of them had very successful starts, but then they have gone back to Goa or they have gone back to play in other parts of the country. While you, on the other hand, have never changed any other club from East Bengal. Other than your love for East Bengal, what do you think is the reason for this?
So I don't know what was the reason, but then I'm happy that I'm with East Bengal. And yes, it's all about one's mentality. I mean, there were players who have also played very good football. Like Climax, he had a decent season in the first year when he joined East Bengal. There was also an offer, a contract been offered to him, but then unfortunately, due to some personal reason, maybe he felt leaving East Bengal and joining Tempos. Same with Mahesh Dowli, who had a very good season. He was also the part of Asian team. And then he again felt like he should move back to Goa. So it's all about the person who's involved. Maybe for me, when I first came into East Bengal the first year, I was just counting my days. People would find it very funny if I say so because, I'm still with East Bengal for the last 18 years. And the first day when I joined East Bengal, I was just counting my days. If I take the year as 365 days, so I was just counting my days. I was like, one day it's over, like so 364 days, 363 days, 362 days. I was just counting my days. And then all of a sudden, I had a very good season throughout. We won 5 out of 5 trophies, and there was no much pressure. Then suddenly I saw, everybody is asking to stay back, and then with this way, I started renewing my contracts maybe for 2 more years, 3 more years. And yes, this is the reason why I'm in here. And then, of course, as you be for a long time with one team, so you fall in love. And, and when you see that things are also been good, everybody has been very kind, very supportive. So, you feel that, attachment more and more. And that has been the case with me. Of course, as I said, like besides Climax or besides uh, Mahesh, there were also players like Kevin Lobo, who has played for 6 years. There's Luis Barreto, who has played for 4 years. So yes, also even I could say that they had a decent season. So because someone who plays here for more than 2 years, it's not so easy. East Bengal is a big club, and players from any state who comes and plays for more than 2 3 years, they should consider themselves as good players because East Bengal is a big club. Only good players will come and join in here. So yes, I think somehow I fell in love with the supporters, with the officials, with the members, with the fans, everyone. So the love what I got from them, so it was amazing, and that is how I think I'm still here, and I love this atmosphere here.
Thank you, sir. So, for our audience, I would like to let them know that we have received a lot of your questions, and Alberto here with us will be answering them at the end of our discussion during the audience interaction session. Thank you for your questions. So, sir, moving on, if we stay on our topic for the session, that is ethics and professionalism in football, sir, during your early playing days in the late 90s, and now that you're involved in club management in 2020, it's been a long time, almost 23, 24 years. So in all this time, have you noticed any changes to the professionalism of players?
See, there's a one change which I would like to talk about, but then I don't know how would it sound to some people. Uh, during our playing days, we were directly interacted by the officials. So whenever the officials used to get in touch with you, all they used to do is make you understand the club structure, a bit of history about the club, and I think that was the best thing what we used to love to hear with such a rich history. Although when we were growing up, we used to know a lot about East Bengal, Mohan Bagan or Dempos or Salgaonkars. But still, sometimes, it's good to know also from the officials. And we were like, wow, what a journey this club had. It has got so much fan following. So, all these things also matters a lot. And sometimes the players, when you join, you need to also know the emotions and you need to know what the club wants from you and what is this club meant to be. It's not just easy to just go and play somewhere. These clubs are not like that. East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, especially with such a huge fan following, for them, results what matters. The emotions, the players need to know the jersey color. They need to understand the value of the jersey. And for this, I think whenever the officials used to get in touch with the players and make the players understand what this club means. So, this brings a big impact on the players as well. And for me, I felt so. I don't know about now. But now what happens is there's a big gap between the players and the officials. This is what I meant to say. For some of the agents, I'm sorry, but nothing personal about anybody. Yes, of course, they are also doing a good job by helping the players to get the best contracts, make sure that the players doesn't fall in any problems or they sign in the right clubs. But what happens is when you have an agent, the clubs have to go to the player through the agent. And then you have to only deal in regards to money. All you need to do is only talk about you have to only talk about the interest of the player, whether he wants to join or not. And that's it. That's all. I mean, but there is no information about the club that the player has.
Sir, your microphone has been switched off. If you could please switch that on. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. So here what I was trying to say is if the player, at least for few minutes, if he gets an opportunity to discuss about football with the officials, then the player will also understand what is the club, what the club is. Because there are a lot of youngsters who have been coming up, and I'm sure they would not even know who is Baichung Bhutia, who is Sunil Chetri, who is Alvito Dikuna, who is I am Vijayan, and many other footballers. So because these players, the time they have started playing football, all they have got is the agents, and sometimes they don't even know. So for them, it's very important, even the club structure, a lot of things about club, the information for them to know, it's very, very, very important. Everybody, end of the day, does mistakes. They might also do mistakes. I'm not saying that every footballer, because East Bengal or Mohun Bagan has a rich history, that they have to join East Bengal or Mohun Bagan. No. But then sometimes to know some things about East Bengal, because end of the day, if you happen to join East Bengal, you also should understand the value of these clubs and what they want from you guys. Having agents is not at all bad, but sometimes the the officials, the way used to explain to you the history of the club, that what this club means to them, and that is what the player has to understand. If these officials, without getting paid, they understand the value of this club so much, they treat this place as a holy place, as a religious place, the player should also value this club that much. So I think that is a gap which I personally feel. But for some, it might sound, especially for the agents, that I am against them. Not at all. In terms of the contract and everything, they're really working hard for the players, and they are doing a good job. But as I said, sometimes the interaction between the officials and the player to know about the club is very, very important.
Yes, sir. As they say, the good old days, but times are changing as we can see now. So, anyway, so moving on, I did some research on you, and one of your interviews, I saw that you had mentioned that once Mohun Bagan had offered you a blank check. Is that true?
Yes, of course they did. But then, uh, I don't know, maybe my mind, my heart wanted me to stay with East Bengal. See, as I
Yes, sir.
said, it's not about money. It's about the love that you have for a particular club. And that is what I have for East Bengal. So yes, of course, it was a huge difference. But then I don't know. End of the day, today I can say I'm very happy with whatever decisions I've made in my life. But there was a day wherein Mohun Bagan had approached me with a huge offer compared to what I was getting from East Bengal. But I never went after it. So maybe I always thought I should stick with East Bengal, and I don't know. I fell in love from the day one. What was the reason? I still don't understand. Sometimes I talk to myself, but then I don't really have that answer with me. But whatever the answer is, I can only say that I'm happy to be involved with this club. I love each and every official. I love each and every fans. Sometimes there is criticism, but then when there is a criticism, it's also because there was a time wherein they have appreciated for whatever you have done on the field. So, I take it in that way. For me, who says what doesn't really matter, because end of the day, when you have played in football, so you have also sometimes seen the good days and the bad days. So even here, the same. When I'm into a management, at times you will see good days, sometimes there will be bad days. So that's part of your life. You need to live with the criticism at times, and that's when you're going to learn and learn and learn.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, sir, moving on, in the last few years, we have seen a saddening trend in Indian football. That is that clubs who have history, who have rich traditions, who have won a lot of silverware in the past, are closing down. Say, let's take your own uh, state's example. Goa, in Goa, Salgaonkar, Dempo, Churchill brothers, all of them were big names in Indian football at one point of time. What do you think went wrong in these clubs?
See, I don't know what exactly must have gone wrong with these clubs. Yes, of course, there was a different feeling when we used to play against these clubs like Salgaonkars, Dempo, the Sporting Club, the Goa, or even in the past we had JCT or FC Cochin. They were the big teams. We used to really enjoy playing against them, or maybe enjoy going and playing away match. So, but we don't really know the reason. The administration of this particular clubs, they might be knowing what really went wrong, whether it was because they could not see any future for them in this Indian football, or whether finance was the problem with them. So we don't really know. So, but we would love to have them back if they can consider themselves coming back into Indian football, because these teams have really made a big impact in Indian football. Whenever there was a match between Salgaonkars and Dempo in Goa, or maybe Salgaonkars playing against any other clubs, or like East Bengal playing Salgaonkars or Dempo, for the supporters, there were only one talk. Oh, today East Bengal is playing against Salgaonkars or Dempo. So this was a big name in Indian football. and we miss that. But at least as a player's point of view, I would say I'm happy that I've played against all these clubs, and I can only hope and pray that we can see these clubs coming back in Indian football as soon as possible.
Yes, sir, of course. So, sir, now moving on to a very interesting thing. This is East Bengal's centenary year, and you were one of the main parts in the centenary celebrations. How was the feeling? How was the atmosphere? How were the fans there? Like, how was it to be a part of that entire celebration?
Amazing. In just one word, I would say it was amazing. Because to be a part of East Bengal 100 years, it's not so easy. And not everyone, I can say, are lucky enough to be a part of the centenary year. There are a lot of people who have given so much to this club, but unfortunately, they are not with us at this moment. Especially, there's one man who I can always talk about, who have done so much for the club. He has sacrificed his love for the club, or his life for the club. That's Sopanda. You know, everybody knows what Sopanda means to East Bengal, and East Bengal means to him. So we miss him a lot, and especially if he was there now and in this centenary year. For him, it would have been a different journey because he has given so much to the club. Although there are officials like Nituda, Kalyanda, they really struggle hard to make the team or take the team in a better way or better position. But then Sopanda was one identity of the club. So, so we miss him a lot. But yes, as I said, so there are a lot of people who are not there with us at this point of time. And that is why I consider myself very lucky to be a part of the centenary year. And I'm really enjoying the centenary year. But then along with that, if we're to win the trophies, as we all want to see East Bengal achieving, much better things in life. So this is what a dream, whether for any person involved with the club. So, but anyways, hope the days which are ahead of us will bring more and more glories to the team.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, moving on, we are in the middle of a horrific pandemic, the COVID-19. So, this has affected all walks of life, all businesses, and of course, football is no different. We as football fans can't wait for the football seasons to come back. But now arises a very different question. Do you think because of this pandemic, it will be harder for clubs to recruit new players, given that they may have lesser budgets to deal with? You being involved in club administration would be able to tell as well, like, how do you think clubs will cope up with this crisis?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because, everything is going to be like a restart. As we all know, it's like a chain system. It get affected in every ways. So financially, there will be a big problem. So the clubs are going to really struggle to get sponsors, investors. So it's going to really be a big hit for most of the clubs. But I think it's up to the All India Football Federation to decide what is best for the clubs in terms of, finance and everything. I think they need to have a meeting on this. And it's also up to the players to understand that in this current situation, that there would not be the same salaries what they have got in the past. So, this would be like a restart of their career for most of the players. Some of them, what they have got, maybe the contract they had for the last 2-3 years with the clubs. But it all depends whether the club wants to stick to that same amount or they want to renegotiate with them. But to me, for the next 1 or 2 years, things would be really difficult for most of the clubs.
Of course, we hope this crisis is over as soon as possible. So, sir, finally moving into one of our last questions for you that we have. You have been a part of the Ideas Unlimited group family for a long time. Your association with us doesn't start with this webinar. If you could please tell us something, how was your experience of dealing with our company, with Ideas Unlimited Sports Management Group?
The Ideas Unlimited is really, they have a lot of ideas which are unlimited, So that is what I really like about them. They have a lot of ideas and they have got the right name for the company, which is Ideas Unlimited. And I think the backbone of this whole concept and the whole company, Mr. Srivastav, who's been a close friend of mine for years now. I know him for lot many years, and I'm really thankful for him. And I would really appreciate what he's been doing with Ideas Unlimited. It's always that he wants to have new and new ideas. So that's the best part of him. He never wants to do what others are doing. He always wants to do something new, which will help the company to grow. And this is what I really love about Ideas Unlimited. And I'm thankful for Ideas Unlimited for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this show. And I also hope and pray that Ideas be a successful team for the coming years.
Thank you so much, sir. That those are very kind words from you. And now, as we are completed with the questions that we had kept for our guest, uh, if Soham is here with us, and he will be helping our guest with the audience questions, and if you could please answer that, sir, for him.
Thank you so much, Indranil, for. So, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 Soham, I can hear you.
So we received a lot of questions in our inbox. It was a very tough task for me selecting the best ones. So I'll just randomly go to one of the questions that is from Suhas Parvati. So Suhas says that when we hear rumors about one club being interested on one player and the contract is in advanced stage during this season, if the rumor is true, what will be the mindset of the player and what will be his ethics and professional will be tested?
Can you just come again? Can you just come again?
Sure, sir. So this is a question from Suhas Parvati. He says that when there is a rumor about a player, about a club being interested on one player during mid-season, and his contract is in advanced stage. So, what will his professionalism and ethics will be tested? Will be interested in playing in the same club, or will be interested in getting to the better lucrative contract for the next year?
In modern football, the rule says you can sign a contract with a new club 6 months prior to your contract. Okay. So let's say if you have an agreement till May, you can start negotiating with any other club from January to February. Okay. There's no harm in doing so. Initially, before, there were days wherein if you had to sign a contract while you are having a contract with the current club is to always create a problem for you. But now, the FIFA rule says that you can sign an agreement with a new club. But it also depends. Sometimes what happens is, if you have signed a contract with a new club, you intend not to give your 100% for this particular club that you're playing. It hampers your performance and it also hampers the team's performance. Because you know that you're already been contracted by other clubs and you're also scared about your injury. But yes, at the same time saying so, there are players who take every match as an important match for this particular club, not thinking about which club he has signed for. And I think that's what professionalism is all about. But a lot of rumors, I think it's about the club and the player to understand that. But for me, what I feel personally is, I'm not saying because I'm a player, but this player who is playing for this particular club should always approach the current club and tell them that this is the offer what I've been getting from the other club. What should I do? Would you all be interested in me? Should I wait for a while? What are your thoughts? Because let's not be disloyal to this club who has given so much to you. Because of this club, you have been getting this club. So, but then, as I said, we are all different people from different minds. So we all intend to do different things. So that's what it is.
I'm sure Suhas has got his answer very, very vividly. So moving on to the next question. This is a question from Aditya Vijay Kumar. He says that Igor Stimac mentioned in one of his interviews about players of Indian origin representing India in the future. So what do you think about this? Will be a beneficial move if more players of Indian origin who are playing in foreign countries, being brought up and being trained in football in foreign countries would come and play in the Indian national team, and that would be of help in developing Indian football?
See, any player who's playing abroad is a huge advantage for the country. But then we should not forget that players who are also playing in our country are also good enough to compete with any other player playing in our country, whether he's an Indian origin or whether he's having an Indian passport. But here, what really is important you can't call those guys for trials. Okay, you can't select them based. So what you need to do is the coach needs to go there, stay maybe for a week or two, watch their 3 or 4 matches, and then decide whether they are good enough to compete with any other players who are there. Because what happens is they are outsiders, they are playing outside India. So you can't just hear from someone that one player is playing good. I will call him for trials, or I will call him to the national team. Because end of the day is not the mindset of other players also. So this is a very important thing wherein the coach should go there, watch the players, and of course, if they are good, this will also strengthen the India squad, which we want to see the national team doing much good in the coming years. Whether it is with Indian players around or whether it's with the Indian origin.
Sure, sir. Sir, this is one question which is practically basically on football performance, I guess. Sir, Swagatam Mishra says that why are foreign players scoring more in the leagues of in India, and what are the qualities that Indian strikers need, and what do they need to do more to score more goals in the leagues? What do Indian strikers need to do more?
You work hard, practice hard. Every day after practice, you're there. Maybe you can just try to ask someone to cross the balls, the low crossing, the high crossing. Try to put as many as balls in the goals. Try to make some dummy. Try to take some shots at the goals. And this is what the confidence is going to build up for the players. At times you will see you take 10 shots, you don't score any. At times you will see you take 1 shot and you score. So, this is all about working hard. For any striker or any player to establish himself to become a better player, all you need to do is work hard. Just take your colleague or take your one coach along with you. So all you need to do is just keep practicing. Either it's shooting, crossing, hitting. So these are the qualities what the strikers need to have in him.
So we have moved on to some of our last questions from the audience, and this is one question which is based on professionalism, I guess. This is from Megha Gadak. She says that many people consider these players to be their role models. So do you think their off-field behavior, they should be more conscious about it, like how they carry themselves off-field and need to protect their off-field image to transfer that into their on-field images?
Of course, I have also said this in one of my questions that, players, it's not only about on the field. You are a role model to any person who's in front of you. So you need to maintain that off the field as well. It's not only about when you come to the field for those 90 minutes or maybe for 2 hours training, 3 hours training, you be like a role model. Then off the field, you go and you do all this dirty stuff. No. If you're a role model, you need to maintain that. And that's very important because you have been following by many other people around you. So wherever you go, whatever you do, you have been a notable person to everyone. So in that way, I think it's very important that one of us, as a role model, we need to know what are the responsibilities on and off the field.
Sure, sir. One piece of information for the grassroots football coaches and football lovers: Ideal Sports Management Group will be conducting a live football session, Facebook session on planning and periodization in football. So this session will be conducted by Shyam Maniklos, who is a former head coach of SAI, and this session is live today on the at 5 p.m. On our Idea Sports Unlimited Group official Facebook channel. I am sure more and more people will be joining that to make this endeavor success. So I'll hand it over to Indranil to maybe close the session and say something to our guests. Thank you, Indranil.
Thank you so much for helping us out with that, and also thank you to our wonderful viewers for their questions. So with that, we have come to the end of our inaugural session. I once again take this opportunity to thank our esteemed guest, Mr. Alberto Di Cunha. Sir, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
And a big thank you to all of our viewers. I would like to let them know that we will be back today from 4 p.m. The topic for discussion would be football entrepreneurship and innovation. And to speak on that, we would have with us former owner of Minerva Punjab Football Club and present owner of Minerva Punjab Football Academy, Mr. Ranjit Bajaj. Thank you so much, everyone.